Hello and welcome to an introduction to using databases and the library catalog for history research. I am your social sciences librarian, T. Gorblich, and if you have any questions after this tutorial, feel free to contact me at the contact information that is listed on the screen. So let's go ahead and start looking into the research databases as well as the library catalog. Now, the first thing that you want to do is be at the library's homepage, which is library.umd.umich.edu. Now, I would recommend bookmarking this page on whatever computer you use most because you will have quick and easy access to the things that I'm going to talk about in this tutorial. So, if you want to select the databases and begin your research in utilizing or looking for articles on whatever topics you are looking into, then you would select the databases link down here at the bottom of the page. Now, if you have viewed the Using Summon tutorial, then you should understand and know that you are basically doing very similar things when going into the databases as you did in Summon. However, in Summon, as the tutorial indicated, is searching through the entirety of the library's collection. The point of this tutorial is to show you how to go into particular databases so that you can sort of focus on particular subjects, like in this case, history. And then also I am going to be showing you how to go directly into the library catalog so that you're not having to filter your search as much as you did within the Summon tool. Okay, so we are going to start by going into databases, and then we are going to select a particular subject that we want to go into, and the library recommends several databases that you can use to do the research for the subject that you're going into. And in this case, we are looking for material in history. So we will be selecting the history section, and just about every discipline taught here at the university is represented in this list. But we are looking for history, and we are going to go into the history section now. And the library recommends several databases that you can use to do high-level research on whatever topics that you're looking into related to historical topics. And I'm going to start in the ProQuest Research Library. But I want to point out before I go into the ProQuest Research Library that the techniques and the things that you're going to learn within the ProQuest Research Library are things that you can certainly carry over into other databases. So don't just look at this as though you're learning one database. You're learning how to use databases by reviewing this tutorial and looking at the ProQuest Research Library part of the tutorial. And then also, if you've seen the Summon tutorial, or you've used Summon, which is the library's one search option, you're going to be able to notice some similar features from the Summon tool and the ProQuest Research Library tool. Okay, a lot of the same techniques can be used not only in the databases but in the one search option, Summon, and then you can also use some of these features or techniques in the library catalog as well, which we're going to talk about shortly. But now I'm going to go into the ProQuest Research Library, and if you are on campus, you will just go right into the database. If you are off campus, you'll first be asked to authenticate, and then you'll be able to proceed into the database. So we're going to click on the ProQuest Research Library, and this is the default screen for the Research Library. And as you notice, history is a section within this database with respect to the coverage. And I am just going to type in American Civil War and then click on search, and we are going to be getting a number of results, and we are getting over 310,000 items. Now, we clearly need to do a good job of trying to limit this search because 310,000 items is too much to look through. So over on the left hand side, we have the ways by which we can narrow our results. Okay, and you can narrow your results by, most importantly, probably the source type. Like, what type of material do you want? Do you want scholarly journal articles, magazine articles, newspaper articles, trade journals, and so on? Most likely, because this is a history class and it's in an academic setting, we probably are going to want to locate scholarly journal articles. However, some of the better primary sources might be found in newspapers as newspaper articles, because these are great sources of information from the period that an event occurred. Okay, so keep that in mind depending on what kind of question you are trying to answer. All right, but let's say we're looking for mostly secondary material and we want to find scholarly journal articles in possibly peer-reviewed publications, most likely peer-reviewed publications. But anyway, so let's go and click on scholarly journals, and you'll see that we are limiting this search now to 135,642 results of articles that appear in scholarly journals. Okay, and at any time I want to recommend that you can go through some of these articles and you can take a look at them to see if they work for your topic. And you should be noticing, because we are in a database that covers history, and because we typed in a sort of history kind of topic, we're seeing journals that are kind of on point. Not kind of on point, but the Journal of American History is certainly on point. And let's see here, Journal of American Studies, Civil War History, clearly on point, the Journal of Southern History, and so on. Okay, so you sort of get the picture. By going into an appropriate database, you're going to be able to find discipline-specific material, or material that is written in discipline-specific publications. Okay, so if we wanted to then filter this some more, we can consider the publication date. As far as history topics go, I don't know if you really need to consider the publication date too much, because some of the best material on a particular topic could have been written 10, 15 years ago, or even more. Okay, so we'll leave the publication date alone. A couple of other things that you really need to concern yourself and focus on would be the document type. So up to this point, we've considered the source type. Okay, the source type is different than the document type. The source type is where the material appears. The document type is the kind of material that we're trying to pull out of the source type. So we have several different document types. We have articles, features, reviews, commentaries, general information, and more options. So we really want to focus most likely on the articles. If you are looking for a book review, that's fine. But just know that you are in the review section, or that these are going to be either book reviews or movie reviews. So they won't be, extensive scholarly sort of articles. And then the same thing goes with commentary. These are going to be more opinion pieces, not really based on research, or not necessarily scholarly in nature. Okay, so these are the document types that are very important, and we are going to restrict this search to articles, because articles will also include the features. The features would be the main or the prominent article in that particular issue of the publication. So we're going to select articles, and we are now going to see that the results are going to be reduced down to 84,538. Okay, so there are a number of other things that we can do at this point. We could add in more terminology if we wanted. We can also consider looking at some of these to see if they work for us. Maybe we can pick up on some other language that might make our search a little bit better, or we could identify some subjects that we want to find within these articles. So if we click on subjects, we'll start to see some subjects that are available within these articles. This means that, for instance, politics is a subject of 10,633 of these approximately 84,000 articles. So let's select more options to see if we can find something that is more on point for what we're looking for. So you can go through this, and we're seeing African Americans. That could be an interest that we want to investigate within the American Civil War, so we can include that in our search. And we can go on down this list, okay? Now, of course, if you were searching for African Americans and the American Civil War, chances are you're going to start your search with African Americans and the American Civil War. However, I just wanted to show you the process that you can go through to sort of, develop your search and then pinpoint, in on a particular topic. Okay, so now we're down to 2,108 items, and what that means is all of these articles now have to have a subject of African Americans as part of the particular items that we have here. All right, so if we look at, say, for instance, the abstract and details for this particular article, we're going to get the abstract and then the details, and we're going to see the abstract, and then we're going to see the subjects for this particular article. All right. Now, if we want this article, we can click where it says full text PDF, which is over here and then also over here, and then we'll get the PDF version of the particular article. And this selecting the full text PDF will bring it up in the reader if you select this one. If you select download the PDF, this will allow you to just download it so that you can then save it to your desktop or whatnot. All right, so there it is. It's a 69-page article, pretty extensive, and you can treat it however you want at this point. And what is really great about the databases will help you cite. All right, so if you want to find a particular citation, if you want this article, you can click Cite, and then you'll get the citation for it in whatever citation style you want. Okay, so we have that. And then also, once you've selected an item, it will go into what is called your research folder or your temporary folder up here. All right, now if you don't have an account, which you probably don't, you can actually create an account. All right, so you can click on where it says, or it has this little icon up here, it says My Research and Language Selection. You can click on that, sign into My Research. If you don't have an account, what you'll need to do is create a My Research account. All right, so this will allow you then to, whenever you go into a ProQuest database, you'll be able to sign in, and you'll be able to get items that you have previously saved to your research account or your My Research account. And that way you don't have to download items, you don't have to email items to yourself. You can just save them into your research account, and then you'll be able to go back to that as often as you want. All right, so we'll just select a couple of these articles, and I'll show you what the temporary folder will allow you to do. You don't have to start a My Research account, that's fine, but now we have items in this temporary folder, and here they are. And at this point, you can email the items to yourself, you can get citations for them, however you want to treat them at this point. Again, it's up to you. So if we want to email these items, that's what you're able to do at this point. And then you can also include citations with that email. So this is a really great feature that you'll be able to see in pretty much all of the databases that you go into. So look out for it. You are going to get help with saving documents, you're going to get help with citing documents, and so on. Okay, so you basically just have to be kind of savvy and play around with these tools, and you'll become really familiar with them. And this is really important if you're going to be here a couple more years and you're doing research quite a bit. You're going to want to be able to be more efficient as a researcher. Okay, so we're down to approximately 2,100 items. I typically do like to get things down under 200, but I want to show you some more things with respect to the documents. So we're going to leave it there for right now. Now we have full text as indicated with this link here where it says full text and then full text PDF. Now full text just gives you the HTML version of the article. This is not something that I would recommend if you have the PDF option, okay? Because the PDF option will allow you, when you download the item, it will give you a reproduction of the article as it appeared in the publication, which then gives you the correct pagination for the particular article, which is critical when you're trying to cite the correct page in the work that you're doing. Okay, you always want to make sure you're citing the correct page. So now we have that. Now what about if we don't see that? If we don't see where it says full text or full text PDF and it only says abstract and details, well, you're not out of luck. Okay, you can still possibly get this article from another database that the library subscribes to. So when you go into the abstract area, you will see check for full text via article linker. If you click on that, you'll be able to see if it's available in one of the other databases that the library has, and it is available over in Communication and Mass Media Complete. All right, so at this point, if you wanted to, you could just click where it says PDF full text and get the PDF version of this particular article. So that is really useful. So you don't really have to restrict your searches to full text, okay? Because if you restricted your search to full text, you would have eliminated that particular article that we just got from another database. And then also, it may not be available in that other database, but the library will work with you to get it through ILL. And that's, you'll only be able to get to the ILL section or interlibrary loan section if you have, everything available to you, so that if you don't restrict it to full text, you'll get all of the articles that are basically just even citations. Okay, and that's important because depending on your topic, you might not have a whole lot of full text in the searches that you're doing. So you're going to want to maximize it to allowing yourself to get the items from interlibrary loan. Okay? So that is it with respect to the ProQuest Research Library. I do believe it is a pretty straightforward database that with a little bit of usage you will get really used to using it. Now I want to go back to the history section and recommend some other databases that you can try out. I would certainly recommend the America History and Life with full text database, as well as the Historical Abstracts with full text database, and then also the JSTOR database, which has a very extensive history section. And then also, if you are doing or thinking about using primary material, the New York Times Historical Database is a really good database to use because it covers a very lengthy period of time from 1851 to 2009. And there are other historical databases as part of the history section that you can use. So essentially you just really need to read the summaries of the databases that you're considering using, and they'll really point you into the correct direction with respect to what kind of research you'll be able to do within that particular database. Okay, so now I want to go back to the library's homepage, and I want to go into the library catalog. And you can do that by clicking on Books and eBooks from the library's homepage. And we are now in the library catalog, and we can begin to do our research here. So I would just type in my topic, and again I am going to use American Civil War. And then click on search, and I am off and searching the library catalog. Now if you viewed the summon tutorial what we're doing here, which is different than in the summon tutorial, is we are specifically searching the library catalog. We don't have to filter out articles or other items. We are just now seeing what is available in the library, in the physical building, and then also what is available electronically, and then as well as the streaming video options that we have for this particular topic. So we have the American Civil War, and one thing you have to understand that the default search for the library catalog is the keyword search. So that means what the library catalog is doing is it is searching through the available records in the catalog system. So it's trying to find the phrase American Civil War somewhere in those records. So if it finds American Civil War together, that's what it's going to do first. It's going to look for that phrase first. So you don't necessarily, have to put quotes around American Civil War because it is looking for that as a phrase first. And if it doesn't find American Civil War together, it will look for those words, American, Civil, and War. Okay, and then that is why we may be coming up with so many items here, because it's looking for those words anywhere in those available records. All right, so that is something to keep in mind. And we see American Civil War here. So if we look at this particular record, we see American, but then we also see American Civil War together. And that when we type in something as specific as this, American Civil War, chances are we're going to get mostly items that have that phrase in the particular record. Okay, but there might be some instances where it's not together. Okay, so you can begin to again look at any of these. I do like to again try to get things minimized as much as possible, but there is no limit with respect to when you can start looking at an item if you find something interesting. Okay, however, because we are getting more than 1,500 items, you may want to try to simplify this search. Okay, one of the things that you could do is you can look at this item, for instance, and you can look at are there subject headings here? Well, in this instance, there aren't any subject headings. This is a streaming video, but if the item is a book, we should be seeing subject headings. We're not in this instance. Sometimes they don't appear with the ebooks, but let's take a look at this print item here. It's going to have all of these subjects. Okay, so we have United States history, Civil War, 1861 to 1865, foreign public opinion, Spanish. Okay, so that tells us really what this book is about. And when you see this subject headings, that's a good way of really figuring out how, what this book is about or what this item is about. So it's good to look at the records and look at the subject headings. Now, probably this isn't what we're looking for, but if it was, then this would be quite useful. And you can also just go ahead and click on this subject heading, any of these subject headings now, and you'll be able to see the books that are specifically on that topic. And there is one other item that has this topic, but we're going to go back and we're going to, in this case, add terminology to our search. Okay, because that's really going to be one of the better ways to get this narrowed down. And we're going to try looking for more information on African Americans. Need to obviously spell it correctly. And now it has to find all of those phrases within the records in order for it to come back. Okay, so let's look at this particular item. Okay. All right, so we're seeing a couple of different things. African Americans, race identity, history, 19th century, United States history, Civil War, 1861 to 1865, social aspects. So we're not, in this case, this may be useful. If we look at the contents, we might be able to identify something there that we want to use. but I would like to try to find something that has maybe African Americans connected with the Civil War. I don't know if that's a subject heading, but let's see if we can find something that connects those two terms. Let's try this one. Okay, again, we're finding African American civil rights history. That's good, but we're really, again, I want to try to connect this with the Civil War. So we can go through, all right, let's see, maybe this one, Becoming American Under Fire, Irish Americans, African Americans, and the Politics of Citizenship. Let's see what this one is like. Oh, there we go. United States History, Civil War, 1861 to 1865, participation, African American. That is spot on for what I want. Okay, and this is something, if we were trying to find this subject, trust me, this is not something you would have been able to come up with automatically, because subjects are a little bit more rigid to draw up or think about. So if we click on this now, we'll see 47 items that deal with this topic. So we can click on that, and now we have 47 items that have this as a specific subject within the book. Okay, so this is a really good search with respect to narrowing it down to a really usable number. But what about if you don't have enough material here? Well, whatever is represented up here, that is the search that you're doing. Okay, now if you click on MELCAT, what you'll be doing is a search that you have up here in MELCAT, which is a statewide network of other libraries that you can borrow from. So 47 on this topic is pretty good for this library. You may not need to go to MELCAT, but you certainly can if you want to. But this is a really good option for those of you who are not finding many on your topic. So if you have 2, 3, or 4, and you really think you need to expand on that, then MELCAT is a great option for you. So you can click on MELCAT, and then what you'll come up with is what is available in the MELCAT system on this particular subject heading. So we have an additional 133 items, and the University of Michigan Dearborn is included in the MELCAT system, so it'll be 133 minus the 47 that we've already seen. So if you want to look at additional entries, you can do that. So we are getting more items on this topic, so this is very good. Now, if you want one of these items, what you can do is, of course, take a look at the item. Is it something that you want to use? And in this list, it's indicating that it's not at U of M Dearborn, so you're eligible to get this item. So you can just click where it says "Get this for me," and then you'll be able to indicate the library that you're at, which is the University of Michigan Dearborn. So we locate the University of Michigan Dearborn, and you can see the number of libraries that are available to you to borrow materials from. So we're looking for the University of Michigan Dearborn. There we go. And then you just type in your name and then your ID number, submit the form, and then the item will be shipped to the Mardigan Library. They will email you when the item comes in, and then you can come and check the item out at the circulation desk. And you obviously have to leave a little bit of time to get the item to this library. So you have to plan accordingly if you want to use these items in your research. So we have taken a look at utilizing the databases to find research, and then also locating books or ebooks within the library's collection. And then we have further talked about utilizing MELCAT to expand the amount of material that you can use in your research projects. So that does conclude this tutorial. However, if you have questions about any of the things that I've talked about during this tutorial, please feel free to contact me at my contact information that is listed on the screen now. Also, if you have questions about any of the many other history resources that the library has, again, feel free to contact me at my contact information. Okay, well again, that concludes this tutorial, and thank you for viewing the tutorial.